Hi there, it's Maria Luz here of Maria Luz Online. I'm an astrologer, certified hypnotist, and psychic medium, and I'm here with your Astro energy report for August 22nd. I've switched these over to Thursdays, so I hope it serves you well moving forward. The energy drivers for this week are the Sun entering Virgo today, and Mercury is in its final week of retrograde. So we're coming off some intense and diverse energy this last week, which left many people just feeling all over the place. So now may be a good time to catch our breath and do some of that reflection that Mercury in retrograde asks us to do before it ends its retrograde period and then starts moving forward and will make its way through the sign of Virgo with the sun there as well now. So, uh, placing ourselves back a little bit to last Monday, so August 19th, just for a moment, because in some ways, Venus in Virgo was simultaneously standing up to Saturn and to Jupiter, and it was a full moon. And it was the day after there was this Mercury cazimi, which is when the planet enters into that specific relationship to the sun. So there was a lot, there were other things happening as well. And so it could have highlighted where you have been serving a master which doesn't deserve your loyalty. That's kind of how I boiled it down because loyalty is there is some of that Leo energy, and there was that Mercury in Leo, the sun still in Leo with that Kazemi. And then just Venus was standing up to what are generally these, especially in the mythology, these ruling type of energies with Saturn and with Jupiter. So blending these ideas, just what purpose does it serve to be really busy, working competently, to reach an ideal if it's not your ideal? And I think at minimum, we need to acknowledge where our individual purpose or our ideals meet um, the the goals of the whatever we're serving, whether it's a company or a group or even a philosophy or something. So kind of heavy concepts, but I do think all of that energy was lined up for a reason for us as a collective to really be looking at these things. And just some of the conversations that I've had over the past few weeks that I and some of these people can really identify with Venus and Virgo really becoming a victim of her own competency and adaptability. And Virgo can slip into that masochistic mode pretty easily and just ask anyone who has prominent Virgo energy in their birth chart. So, like a Virgo sun or Saturn in Virgo, Virgo moon, that type of thing. I have Mercury and Pluto in Virgo. So, what can happen with Venus in Virgo? There's Venus has that bias towards harmony. And then we've got these inclinations from Virgo to service and efficiency. And so all that kind of ends up with Venus being in this detriment of power. So, what it can look like, speaking from experience in a work situation, maybe you get handed like the worst mega projects, and they've already been bungled once or twice, mismanaged. You get handed the people who really need to be managed out, but nobody has wanted to do it. You get volunteered, or you volunteer yourself for every kind of employee resource group. And all of these are just side jobs to your main job. And again, speaking for myself during these career periods, I was enervated, yet I was efficient. So, meaning I had no bodily or psychological sensations during this time, but I was killing it. And other people, I think, are starting to kind of starting to wake up to that. And so when I think back, emotional or spiritual kind of feelings or sensations were just not even on the radar. And so I think, going into Virgo season, which honestly I have a really hard time with because I have so much fixed energy, and cardinal energy. I struggle with kind of that adaptability that Virgo brings, that transition. Um, but it also pulls in the Pisces, so the spiritual side, because of the fact that they are on that same axis. So when I saw on the 19th, when I saw Venus making a stand to Jupiter and Saturn, I could relate to that piece as well because, um, as I said, it's mostly, let's face it, it's mostly women who are given those kind of jobs that um, they don't get a lot of glory. They're messy, but they have to get done, or they're just simply not compensated for. But they're still part of the organization. Um, so anyway, so I think, women are starting to maybe push back or at least talk about it with one another. And, in my case, I kind of ended up just kind of pushing myself out of of my corporate career. Um, and, I don't know that that will become a bigger trend, but I do know just anecdotally of, a few people who are doing that, because there is a different calling and a different alignment that, that people are feeling now. So I think, the full moon highlighted that unlikely pushback from, Venus being in detriment, yet still pushing back. And it was also in light of this first quarter aspect that Jupiter was making to Saturn. And that first quarter phase is also known as a crisis in action aspect. So, the different phases of say, the moon in relationship to the sun, or any planet in relationship to the slower moving planet, they all have meaning. And so, what that crisis in action, I think, is about is this possibility of a way other than the status quo as represented by Saturn. And with Jupiter, it does have to do with ideals more for the collective, especially Jupiter in Gemini. It's looking at different possibilities and really questioning that. And then that aspect of the first quarter is, what will we choose to do about it? That crisis in action. Now, what are we going to choose as a collective to do? So at least, to ourselves, let's let's use that Mercury and Leo Kazemi and just say things boldly, even if it's just to yourself, or to your close group for now. And that is it for this week. I look forward to any feedback. You can email me info@marialuz.online. If you're interested in having your birth chart read, or any other scan for significant events, or you're interested in hypnosis or psychic mediumship, visit my website at marialuz.online. And I appreciate you so much for being here. And I will see you next time.